Hey everyone, it's Ashlar here with another tutorial in my mini-series on random numbers for beginner Java programming. I wanted to give you another example of how to use a random number generator for something a little different than just generating numbers. So I thought I would create a program called Pick a Card. I'm also really into really good magic and what's the plot of every classic card trick. It always starts with pick a card, any card. So I thought I would show you quickly how to use a random number generator to pick a card instead of just a number. I wanted to mention that the way we're going to do the pick a card program in this tutorial is far from the best way to accomplish this goal, but I think it's the clearest way to demonstrate what's happening. I will follow up with one more tutorial that shows an easier way of doing this, but for now, just follow along with me. What we're going to do first is create an array of strings that's going to hold the names of the cards. So we're going to type string and make it an array by putting the brackets. So now we have an array of strings. Name it something. For simplicity, I'm going to name mine cards. And we're going to set it equal to new string array. And then inside here, you actually have to put how many values it's going to contain. So we're going to use 52 cards in the deck without the jokers. So that's 52. Now we've got an array that's large enough to contain one of every card. So then what we need to do is store a value of a card in each index of this array. So we're going to start by typing cards, which is the name of our array, and then the brackets, and inside the brackets we're going to put 0, because that's the first index. Remember, Java starts counting at 0, not at 1, and set it equal to, and then here, whoops, there we go, and set it equal to, and you have to use quotation marks because it's a string. We're going to set it to ace of clubs. And now we can copy and paste this. And we're going to do this for every card. And this is why I said it's far from the best way to do it, because it's very tedious. We have to type in every card. And rather than do that, I'm going to just show you an example of the first few, and then I'm going to pause the video and show it you completed, since you'll understand the concept, rather than making you sit here and watch me type all of them. So we're going to have 2 of clubs. So notice the index has to change on each one. You can only have one value in each index. So this is cards index 0, then index 1, then this needs to be index 2, and this is of course going to be the 3 of clubs, and we're going to put in all the clubs in the same way, making sure that we have the numbers 0 through 51. We have 52 values, but we start at 0, and so on. So I'm going to copy one more in just so you can see the gist of what's happening. And what I'm going to do right now is just pause the video while I put the rest of the values in. And if you don't want to type all this in as well, I'm eventually going to have this code online where you can just copy and paste it in. And if you don't want to have to type all these in, I'm eventually going to have all this posted online. I'll have a link in the description once I've done that. Okay, there we go. I've copied all the values in, and you can see we've got an entire deck of cards here if I scroll down. And the indexes go all the way up to 51, which makes a total of 52 places since we started counting at 0. We've got all the cards in there, and there's 1 at each index. So if we just wanted to demonstrate how this works right now, we could print out any one of these cards by doing a sysout. And inside the sysout, we're going to print cards, and then put an index in there. Let's say what's on your screen right now, I'll put in index 39. And what's going to happen is in the console, we should get the ace of diamonds when I do this. So let me run the program. And there you can see we've got ace of diamonds. Since we put in an index of a card, instead of just typing in the number of the index, we can put a random number generator in here so that we randomly select an index, and then it'll return to us in the console whatever string is at that index, essentially picking a card with a Java program. The way we're going to do this is we're going to go back up to the top of the code, and I've already imported java.util.random, so if you haven't done that, make sure that's in your code. Above or below the string of cards, it doesn't matter. We need to make a reference to a random number object. So random, and I'm going to call this card chooser. Remember, this name can be anything that you want. Card chooser is nice and clear because that's what it's going to do. It's going to choose a card. It equals new random parentheses. Now that we've got card chooser made, we can go down into that print line, and where I put in 39, we can change it to actually be that card chooser. So we're going to, instead of 39, we're going to type card chooser. By the way, if you hit Control Space, you get suggestions, and in this case, it auto-completed it for me since it knew that that's what I was going for. So we're going to do card chooser dot next int. Inside the parentheses of next int, we need to give it a range like we did before, because we don't want it picking a number that's not an index in our array. So we want it to pick between 0 and 51. So here we can pick 51. Because we've got the numbers 0 through 51 in our array. Now when we run the code, we're going to get a different card every time because that random number generator is picking a different number which gets passed in as the index of cards. 7 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, queen of hearts, 10 of hearts. It's going to be a different value every time because we didn't put in a specific index. We put a random number generator in place of the index. So there you can see everything inside these brackets would have normally been an index number, but we have the random number generator there. All right, that's everything for this tutorial. Have fun impressing your friends with your computer's new ability to pick a card. Stay tuned for the next tutorial where I'm going to show you a much simpler way of accomplishing the same thing using 2 arrays. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be making a lot more tutorials on beginner Java programming and anything else that crosses my mind. See y'all on the next one.